Yo, what's up, y'all? Aloha.
Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the it is?
Aries and Andy. Chew and the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Cry, we lit.
There's levels to this before you was on your mama.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders.
Rollers, loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
So that you know that what that means where we're at. You know, when I came and did press this morning, kind of like the way Mark coined it. He said Aries has become, what'd you call me, the comedian? What type of comedian? Because tropical comedian, you said?
Yeah, that was probably it. I don't know.
Tropical?
Medium, yeah.
Dude, do me a favor.
I had no idea what you were saying.
Don't turn into Andy. Remember what the you say. You're 34. He's 60. He has a reason.
And I said from the beginning that I had that issue. You didn't bring that to the table.
I think he described me as the tropical comedian because obviously we did the Bahamas and now we're here in Hawaii. And that was a weird weather jump because we went from nice to cold, from cold to nice.
Yes, and we've been doing that.
Yeah.
You're not going to remember this. There was a like a 7-Up commercial, I think during the 70s. It was a black dude who used to do it, and he was
Only black dude I knew did 7-Up commercials was Godfrey and Orlando Jones.
No, this isn't it. He's too old for that, but he used to do this really funny commercial, and I just think that would. I'm going to find it for you. Not here because we're busy taking care of the people here.
Yeah,
we'll do that on our own.
Well, I can tell you this, folks. Today is the day, and when I say that, I mean because you know we've been pushing the Philly mob joint back further and further and further, but. We knew we were going to talk about the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie, The Rip, and you know I really didn't have a whole lot on that, so I said as a backup in case because you know The Rip is on some drug shoot 'em up. What would go nice with that is the Philly mob, and then we were also going to throw in. The Chevy Chase doc, which I did not get a chance to watch.
Because it doesn't come out to the 31st.
Oh, so it's not even out yet?
No, it's out, but only on CNN. If you want to watch it on Hulu, it has to be on the 31st.
Oh, so there we go.
So we're perfect. We're right
So
in.
yeah, it finally, the Philly mob, I got a knock on my door. Philly mob said, you better talk about us, even though you're not supposed to snitch.
But about 3 people said, why are you holding back on the Philly joint?
Yeah. Dude, it's so beautiful out here. And unlike last time when we were out here, I kept wanting to say the Aloft is where we stayed, but it wasn't. But what was the name of the hotel you're at? A1C or what is it? The diabetes room?
AC.
AC
Marriott or whatever it is.
This is the thing now.
Yeah, because I'm looking
The A1C.
There you go. What you doing on the phone?
Dude, I'm listening.
Ray Charles over here.
He's trying, man.
Last night, when I heard you say, ba-da-da-da, oh, Johnny, when you know my name is Ray. All right, anyway, so now it's staying at the AC, right?
Yeah, AC.
Which, you know, between that and the Aloft, I can't stand because they look like dorm rooms. And there's little to no room in that. So I knew for podcasts it was going to be a challenge, but Mark always finds a way to shove soft and wet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, if we're going to make it work, I know Mark can make it work, but I would rather us have, you know, a nice space and you know, didn't know this was going to fall in our lap. But as you see, almost on some Vlad, Andy, turn a little bit.
Yeah, it's great because the lighting's great. It looks better.
This is the iHeart studio where a lot of goes down
in Hawaii.
So we got the drum set, we got the lighting. You see Mark looks legit. And this is cool. So we got a good atmosphere. And then unlike before, what I was getting to was I'm staying at the Sheraton Waikiki, 12th floor, ocean view, spectacular, automatic panty dropper. If you bring a out to something like that and them panties don't drop, like my man Will Mills say, pack that up, send her home. Pack you up, son.
So how's it going?
I might have to pack this up.
Damn.
That was a. But yeah, man. So it's beautiful. It's nice.
So when you walk into the room, you should just see like the panties start like going down the leg.
To the Pink Panther music. Doo-doom, 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 doo-doom. And then she just slides on her own vaginal wetness. So that's that. But I gotta tell you, man, as I was combing through my Instagram, a dude sent me a picture who apparently he was on my flight on the way over. And he took a picture of me sleeping. So as I'm sitting in the last row of first class, 5F, I'm out. And this nigga sent me a picture of me sleep. So I obviously knew he was on my flight. So I hit him back and I said, seriously? What made you think that was a good idea? And he goes, I just wanted to make you laugh. I wrote failed. Why would you do that?
So you had him a guest at your house. He'd just come into your room and just stare at you for a while. Take a quick pic.
But at least if he's a guest at my house, I kind of
know him. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What I might be in store for. Speaking of which, dude, that scene in Wedding Crashers, which is, I think, one of Vince Vaughn's funniest movies, when the grandmother called him a homo, the painter.
Yeah.
And he goes into Vince Vaughn's room, ties him up at the bedpost, and starts. Dude, I don't want to get too off track, but again, Vince Vaughn, hands down, one of the funniest in comedy, along with Jason Bateman, when it comes to reactions. His reactions to are nigga.
They're so even okay. Since you brought up Wedding Crashers, when who's the other dude?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson's telling about how the mom showed her titties
She
to
showed
him.
me her breasts. Wow.
And so he gets into this whole thing. Vince Vaughn gets in this whole thing,
Yeah.
and really puts it out like a real person should.
Right.
And then he goes, "But then, how were the titties? Were they great? Did you just want to get it? Did you want to motorboat them? Did you want to blah, blah, blah?" The way he does it, it didn't. That feels contrived, like it was written.
Right.
But he makes all that shit work.
He's a beast comedically.
And-
Incidentally, and I don't do an Owen Wilson impression, but I know that part. Wow. Like when you do Christopher Walken. Whoa. So I just thought there should be a comedy called New York City Drag Queens. And it's Tracy Morgan and Owen Wilson. So all you hear when they get sassy is, yeah, wow.
The scenes where almost every movie has Vince Vaughn eating in it though too. And I love the way he just I just need to catch my breath here. I need to
And that next morning after the incident, when Owen Wilson wants to stay to try to nail the chick or seal the deal. And clearly Vince Vaughn is distraught, wants to get the fuck up out of there. And he goes, I don't know, it could have been last night midnight ass rape or the midnight rape, and then he goes on to describe some other shit. I'm telling you, man, that dude's comedic timing is bananas.
And I don't know him, but I heard from someone who does. So I had a friend where I worked at, and she, her fiance was good friends with him.
Yeah.
And she goes, "That's really who he is. The guy that's the funny guy, the guy that talks all that shit and everything. Says he really is that guy."
Jesus.
I think that's awesome when you get to be yourself and get to figure out how to put that into your job.
Once upon a time ago, he had a thing where he kind of like I know Tiffany Haddish did it on Netflix. Are They Ready? Martin Lawrence did it, where they take big A-list stars and put together like a comedy thing of 4 or 5 comedians all coming out doing 20 minutes. And I forget what it was called, but Vince Vaughn had one on Showtime. And I can't remember the whole lineup, but I know Brett Ernst, he was on it. God, who else was on that shit? I can't remember the rest, but, and I just went, as a guy who's a fan of Vince Vaughn, that would have been great. Like, and it's like I'm at the point where it's like I'm really not going to give you 20 minutes. If I'm going to do something comedically, it's a special. But for something like that, I would go ahead and bite the bullet and go, because it's Vince Vaughn. Yeah. I would want to be a part of that.
It was a show where they just tell you a story, right? It was a story.
No, they were doing 20-minute sets.
Sets of stand-up.
Yeah, and it was like Vince Vaughn presents. So clearly, he is a fan of stand-up.
No, he did that whole thing with with Brett Ernst and
Yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco. That was
Was
all, that was
Sebastian on that?
on that tour on the
Yes.
tour that they did all around the country.
Yes, yes,
that's,
yes.
That's Vince Vaughn's tour. He put
Yeah,
that
that's
whole
what I'm
thing
saying.
together.
Yeah. But you went like it was a Q&A thing. It was a
No,
stand-up.
I didn't know that's what you're talking about.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Gary Goldman's on that, and then the dude who does he was the host, the guy who does all the shows in L.A. The blonde dude who does a lot of the shows. He did the show where, God, this is the names. Forget it. Let's move on because I'm not going to remember the names.
All right.
But he used to have the show at. Damn it, man! I can't remember. I done his
The
shows.
scene would be a big drag queen concert. And one of the drag queens, very saucy, would be like, do I look good or do I look good? And then both Tracy and Owen go, yeah. Wow.
What was where Dane Cook was like really came up at back in L.A. He used to do that room all the time. That's the guy who used to open up the shows. He's the producer.
Jay Davis?
Jay Davis. Thank
This
you.
nigga be begging me almost every other week to do his room in L.A.
Where's his room now?
Not Yamash. Is it Yamashiro's? It's a big Asian fusion restaurant
Okay.
on top of the hill
Yeah.
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I did it once, but I'm telling you, like every 2 weeks.
He used to have one. Right, it was on. I think it was off of Sunset. Or
It
right
was
on-
at Dublin's when Dublin's was
Dublin's
there.
was the hot spot, but then he
Right.
did something also after that one.
Yeah.
And that was a cool spot.
From now on, that's how I'm gonna respond as Owen Wilson anytime a woman shows me her. Wow. All right. Anything else you got before we get into this?
No, do you have anything? I don't even feel. I'm in a tropical space.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful outside. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I don't want to get into anything that's going to make me out of that pocket. So
Like negative?
yeah, I'm just really
No. It's just-
Yeah.
We're talking movies.
yeah. But I usually go negative, so that's what
Oh,
I'm saying. Yeah, let's stay in this.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Crossed.
So you saw the rip?
Yeah, I saw the rip.
What'd you think?
I thought it was. I thought it was interesting. It was good. I liked some of the stuff they did.
Just off the top, scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the
It
best.
wasn't a bad movie. There was interesting parts. I'd give it a 6.5.
I'd give it a real strong 7.
Real strong 7.
Did you see it, Mark?
I saw it.
What'd you think?
I
There goes
say
your
go
nigga.
7. Yeah, I'd say
All right.
7.
It's not original. That's the problem.
One of the critiques I heard was at one point people felt like they did too much explanation in terms
Lots of explaining.
of what the bad was instead of showing it,
I have some of this.
which I didn't have a problem with it.
I have some. I do have something on this movie, but because it was an interview, well, I think Matt Damon actually spoke about it. I don't think who's the other dude?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck looks weird in this one. I'm sorry.
I got to tell you, see, let me stop you right there. I love rough and rugged Ben Affleck, whether it's The Town, this, and I know he's not really gone down this lane a lot. Put a gun in this nigga's hand, keep the beard. I like rough and
beard's
rugged Ben Affleck.
but the little hair comb thing that he had going.
I don't know that that's a comb thing. He's getting old. He might be losing it.
I just said he looked a little Alfred E. Newman with a beard and a little more rugged looking. He looked a little different. He looks a little smaller. He doesn't look like the same. He's definitely not Batman Ben Affleck. He's definitely gotten a little thinner. It's not a problem, but
even
I
when
wasn't ready for
even when you say Batman, the right word is brooding.
it. Yeah,
I love a brooding Ben Affleck.
but he doesn't look like. I thought he was trying to look like a cop instead of being a cop.
I thought he was.
Okay. But I think it was Matt Damon that had this conversation. And what apparently is going on at Netflix, and I love Netflix. I'm all for Netflix.
Yeah.
I hope they get that deal done. Netflix. But what I was going to say is, Warner Brothers to Netflix. They said that Netflix has a new way of like they're trying to approach this filmmaking in a streaming way because people don't watch as intently. Like when you go to the theater, and we talked about this before. When you go to the theater, you're locked down. You know, you get your popcorn, you get your soda, you get your seat, and if you do it right, that's where you stay for the whole movie.
Yeah.
But you're watching it on your phone, a smaller screen. That's why maybe more description so that you don't miss things because it's on a smaller screen. You're not paying as much attention. A lot of people talked about, especially this was a big deal in the 70s, where the television was on as entertainment, but not something you paid attention to, just a background noise, something that was a part of your life, but you weren't really necessarily. You could watch it and not have to know every detail and still get it. And I think that's kind of what Netflix is kind of doing. That's why they have to introduce what they want to start off with the big explosions, the big deal right at the beginning. They did. They killed. I'm going to ruin some things for people, but there's a death immediately, a chase scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a lot of this has to do with Netflix and them revamping the way that they want to do storytelling.
I read where the CEO of Netflix said that movies that come out under Warner Brothers will be in theaters for 45 days before it goes to Netflix. And I don't know what the timing was before that. And this is where, I might be dating myself. But, when movies originally, once upon a time ago, came out before they eventually came to VHS or even DVD, it took a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to go back to the 70s again. Jaws.
Yeah.
That was out for a year before they
Damn.
because they didn't have the way they didn't have
Right, they didn't have the technology, right.
But they didn't put that on TV. It was over a year, and they're still selling tickets at the theater. If you could sell tickets, you were doing it. But okay, so now we have more platforms that open up, and now it's you can catch it at home. You can do it a different way. But I think they went down to like 30 days. So 45 days. That's what people. I would pay for the movie experience though. I pay for the popcorn, the drink, and the experience.
How much?
Not every movie though.
Not every movie.
How much do you predict? Because that's the rumor. The rumor is that the movie industry is not only dying, but theaters are going to be a thing of the past.
I don't.
And I don't want to believe that for the reason you just said. It's an experience.
Mm-hmm. I think the theaters are going to get more high tech. I think there's going to be more.
You think that's what'll save it?
I think it will save it. I think some more high tech theaters, some more interactive. Plus, I think that they're going to do if they don't do this, they're ridiculous. And if Netflix is going to be the one who could pull this off, they get Warner Brothers. And that is, I like when they take a library of old movies
and put them in the theater.
And put them in a theater.
I'm not mad at that, but I don't know that will save the industry.
No, but what will save the industry is getting people to go, I want to see that at the theater. I want to see that at the theater.
Listen, getting jerked off in your own popcorn bucket by your lady because you cut a hole in the bottom is not the same as getting jerked off on the couch at your crib.
No.
Extra butter, please.
Well, that's for the man to provide.
But I get what you're saying, but the movie, but the hard part about this, I'm stuttering on this. The hard part about this is if you're growing up and you have everything on your iPad or you can stream it at home, you don't appreciate that experience.
Yeah.
So unless they have a way to make the theater more interactive and make someone who's of that younger generation that has just experienced it in their pocket or available at their house when they want it at their convenience.
Right.
But the biggest problem with that is the pause button. You can pause that and come back. That isn't the movie experience. But we need to get those people. We need to get the younger groups something that makes them go, I have to see this at the theater. And that would be, if the wind's blowing, the wind blows.
But see, this is why I'm gonna counter that. There are theaters now that do that, and if that was something that was going to catch on, it would have done it already. And it seems like people are a little against that.
I think it has to be marketed that way. It has to be that. It has to become the norm.
What's the that where we went? Yeah, when we saw both Fantastic Four
The 3D?
and Superman in 3D.
I know.
As dope as that was, it doesn't feel like the mass majority of people, especially young people, they don't care about that.
Well, first of all, 3D has to be in the theater because if you ever seen 3D at your house, it's not great. I had a 3D TV was capable of playing movies.
Right.
It wasn't good. But besides that, I think that you have to be able to offer it. There has to be a desire. Not everybody cares about going into the theater, but if you have some more of that interaction part, some more of the feeling, the sound at the theater is amazing. It isn't that way on your iPad.
Dude, imagine if they did that with porn theaters, where you feel some of the experience, where it's like when a dude jizzes, somewhere in the theater shoots lotion on you.
Yeah, but you know what? You feel all that stuff at a porn theater. But what if they had previews for a gay porn that was coming up?
Well, what would be the thing that would come at you?
Maybe you'd feel it on the seat.
Ooh, you get taller. Right. Ooh. Right. In this thing, one of the cops, the Hispanic cop, while her and I think her name is Tiana Taylor, are counting the money in the garage, and they're both struggling with, do we steal some of this? And she goes, I make $80K a year after taxes. And it's crazy how for most people, there are some people, if you make, that live off 80 grand for a year. Dude, let me tell you something. That won't last me 2 months. With what my overhead is and my bills, 80 grand would be gone in 2 months.
Yeah, that's because you have those bills.
It's because you're in the 1%.
That's nuts. I can't imagine living off of 80 grand, nigga.
I can.
Well, you have a different situation.
No, but I also have other incomes that I have going on too.
You got other income coming in when you're coming in.
Yeah, but I also have money coming in, so I'm not taking care of. She did, my wife,
Right.
My beautiful wife, my lovely beautiful wife. She went to go look at a house, and it was snowing, and her car. There was ice underneath the snow. It had melted a little bit, but they hadn't had time to do it, and so her car slid a little bit, and she hit a post. And it was a stop sign. It said stop.
Right.
She was so upset. I go, but did the car stop? Yeah,
Right.
Because of the sign that said stop. I go, that tells you what you needed to know. So she was upset about it, and she had already been talking to someone about the new. She went and got herself a brand new black on black X3. So. I wanted the X5. We talked about it, but it's hard to park the bigger.
So she got what she wanted.
No, I wanted the X. I didn't care. I would rather have the X3
Right.
for parking in Jersey.
Yeah.
But I think the X5 is more, it's more spacious. But it's harder to park, so I get it.
And this might be a little bit of a spoiler alert, but anyway. So at one point in this movie, when they finally kind of say, all right, they tell the two girls, Tiana Taylor and the Hispanic chick, stay here with the other chick. And what you think at that moment is them taking all the money. And at no point do they establish that the two female cops are in on this money. And I'm like, damn, so the women just gonna get f-. But then towards the end, you kind of see how it all plays out. But I gotta say, I'm going as a cop, knowing what your salary is versus what they basically said was $20 million in drug cartel money. How can you not steal a little?
Well, this is a big question. This is a big question. It's a big question in real life, and it's a big question in the movie.
And ultimately, at the end of the movie, we learn they didn't steal any of it. And the amount was, the final amount was $20 million, and I might f up this amount, but basically $20,640,040. And because the other Hispanic chick who was at the house where the money was, she got like a $4 million plus. Here's your fee for whatever. They gave her like
because she was a paid informant.
right. So basically the cops didn't get shit. And that disappointed
Wait
me.
a minute, though. Wait a minute. When he holds up the amount and says, memorize this
Right.
number. Memorize this number.
Right.
If they counted it, they would know what the number was, right?
If who counted it?
If the girls counted it, they knew the number.
Okay.
Why did he have to tell them what the number was?
I must have missed something.
And I'm not saying they took it. I'm saying, but there's this question where he goes, "This is number. Remember, don't say it. Remember it. Remember where he does that? He shows.
Okay, but bring me back a little bit. Who says that to who?
Matt Damon says it. Well,
To who?
To the girls that are counting.
Okay.
Because remember this number.
Yeah.
If they counted that amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
they knew the number. Why did he have to tell them what the number was?
This Jew math. I'm lost.
Well,
So you're saying they did take some?
I'm saying if he gave them the number that they needed to remember so that they would be on point, is there a chance that some of money, maybe not millions, but some of it.
But you know what? That final scene with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on the beach, sitting back drinking brews. There was no point at all that they alluded to. Hint, hint. We're now in the clear. How much did you take? Well, I took this much. They just left it there.
Because I think that's for you to figure out.
No, don't give me no
Yeah,
Sopranos ending
no,
shit.
I'm seriously, because he told them how much they had to have. Plus, the reason I said the movie wasn't original, like the money, it's the phone books. You knew that was going to be the phone books. You knew that wasn't the money that they took.
I didn't. I didn't either.
I was mind blown.
You haven't seen this in a movie before?
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
have.
wasn't
We saw it in Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
I know, but the way.
So that was obvious to me. The movie, this is where the movie falls short to me. It didn't do anything brand new. The only thing brand new that I saw that I thought was pretty cool and clever is, and I don't know, maybe it could have been in other movies, when he gives everybody a different amount so that he can figure out who the person is that's selling out. Because he gave, I told you 150, I told you 300, I told you.
Yeah, that whole thing that took place in the little tank.
Yeah, but you know what? For me, I wouldn't remember who I told what. I would be either. Who did I tell?
It had a real Sherlock Holmes whodunit
Kind of
vibe to it, which I liked. But at the end of the day, like I said, the disappointing thing was I went, damn, ain't nobody took no money? You gotta take a little bit.
I think they took it. They took what they
They
needed.
didn't take it.
They did.
No.
No, I believe they didn't. I think
then why did he give them? Why did he give them the number that they had to know?
I don't know how you put that together.
He gave them the final number?
Yeah, he holds it up.
Yeah.
He told them what the number was. He didn't. They didn't have the. They didn't. Why wouldn't they know the number if they're the ones that counted it?
I just looked it up and I was like, so did they steal it? It said no.
It said no.
This is this guy again. I'm gonna look this up. I sent him something once. and
Why
it
are you
was-
against looking up?
No, you should look it up. But do you have any critical thinking where you could do some for your own brain?
I can't wait till we do the emails because there's something that's not a stupid, but something I want to address in regards to something somebody said about you two. That's all I got on that.
Did
I
you
told you
did you
I
like it?
I liked it. To me, it felt like, and this is why we go back to the movie theater thing versus streaming. Some things belong in theaters. And seeing that in the theater would have been more intense for me than looking at it on my iPad.
It didn't have enough to be in the theater. It's a quick movie. I mean, it's this setting, this scene, boom, story, this scene, boom, story, this scene, finale. It's very just like
Great
it's very
description.
very programmed.
Listen, I'm telling you, I don't know who Ben Affleck's agent is, but he need to do a Bourne type thing. His acting skills, and again, his broodness, I don't know why he's never gone down that lane.
Does Matt Damon's nose look like Doonesbury now? The
Yes,
cartoon?
it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it
I
does.
couldn't stop looking at that.
Yes, it
I go,
does.
that looks like Doonesbury.
Let me jump to something else that I forgot, but that I remember. I want to mention. Big shout out to Charles Barkley, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. Listen, ESPN. Did you see what he said? Fire me. He's mad because he goes, yo, when Inside the NBA was on TNT, you saw us every Thursday, sometimes twice a week. Andy, I swear to God, and most people I thought I was the only one. You can't find it. Inside the NBA on ESPN, you can't find it. You don't know when it comes on. And dude, I looked and looked and looked. I went through my channel guide and it said it's on NBA TV. And I'm going, why is it on NBA TV? I hit the record options, record the series, record new episode. Nothing.
I really think ESPN. It is going to sound ridiculous. 'cause they
No, it
spend
may
money.
not.
I think they did this as a goodwill thing. Like we have the NBA, we don't have all the games. We have these games, and we have these guys because we're good people. Because they didn't when it was going to come out, they didn't have this big promotion. They didn't have a big event.
But
they didn't have
the
big-
promise was nothing will
change.
change except the logo.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that they were. Yeah, we did it. We put it out. But where? Where is it? Can we find it? Can I have
Dude,
it?
this is horrible.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I've seen, and what frustrated me was I will go through social media and see clips of their shenanigans on the phone. And I'm going, okay, why is it not on TV? Why am I not seeing this on TV? You can look up the lit, you can't find it. And I just don't understand why you would bring that quadruple dynamite pack and not show it.
Well, because they have to play. What's Get Up, and what's the other shows?
Whatever those other shows are.
They play them 4 times in the day.
And Charles Barkley, in true Charles Barkley fashion, goes, I told you, man, I'm not going to be on ESPN 1, 2, 3. What's the Spanish one called?
Ocho?
Ocho Nachos. He said, you're not going to have me working to death. I'm not doing ESPN 1, 2, 3, Ocho Nachos.
He looks good, though, now, too, by the way.
Yeah, but you could see, listen, when you get old and you start doing them shots, whatever they call, them necks.
Yeah, but he looks good. You can have the neck fixed. The fact that he lost the weight, he looks a little bit more.
Yeah.
And his voice improved. Like, he sounds healthier.
Yeah.
So good for him.
ESPN for that.
Well, maybe they just have to get this together.
And some people were saying,
That's ABC, by the way.
Some people were saying, I guess whatever conspiracy theorists, they're trying to slowly phase them out.
I think they are.
Because when Charles was, taking shots at them on TNT, talking about, man, ESPN ain't gonna pay me enough to do blah, 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 blah. And people were going, this is that thing where ESPN went, let's get them just so we can fire them.
Well, but see, that's kind of the thing. If you can't find them, then they don't have enough. Then they're going to say, well, we're not getting enough viewers. So if we're not getting enough viewers, we don't. These guys should have done it on their own.
But
they should have done it on their own.
When people have said adamantly, a lot of us watch Inside the NBA on TNT more than the games. So wouldn't ESPN go, they're going to bring that audience, which even if the basketball games ain't getting us the greatest ratings, they will.
I don't know why they did what.
Let me stop trying to put logic and sense in a business that doesn't have any.
I think they picked it up because they wanted to seem like the good guys in this whole thing.
Boom!
And then they can cancel it because it's not getting enough viewership.
That's
but why
bullshit.
these guys had the reach that they had? They were off their contracts. They could have done anything they want. Why didn't they just go and put it on YouTube and do their own show?
Not the same cachet.
It doesn't.
That's
The
just not
cachet.
the same
Fuck the cachet. You own the show. You do whatever you want. You bring all those people over that made it happen on TNT.
Well, that's a twofold. The cachet, but don't the cachet.
They would have made more money. They wouldn't have been beholden to anybody. They could have put it, and then when you say you can't find it, all you would have
Right.
done, and this is why the thing that we're talking about, the movies, you would have just gone onto YouTube and you would have been able to watch it anytime that you wanted to.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on this, Mark?
No,
Why don't you look something up? Let it tell you, and then you can repeat
let's
it.
jump to Philly Mob because because hopefully
Stupid.
that'll take us out.
We can do Philly Mob.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
First thing about and Philly Mob, we saw that one on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Netflix is called Philly Mob.
3-part.
3 parts. One, dude, I never even knew that there was mob in Philly. I thought just New York, right? And a little bit of Jersey.
There's mob everywhere. There used to be mob everywhere. Detroit, yes.
Italian mafia.
Italian mafia, Detroit,
I never knew that.
Ohio, mobbed up. Cleveland.
I knew that from the movie called it's the Irish something, not the Irish.
Kill the Irishman.
Kill the Irishman, which is a great underrated gangster flick.
I hope this camera got this whole thing when you did that. That was, I felt it. Like I felt how passionate you were.
Man, Kill the Irishman is dope.
Yeah, the whole country was. I mean, not so much in the South, but on the east, as you say, the Eastern Seaboard, all the way
Yeah.
to the Midwest, all on the North. Yeah,
Really?
all mob.
Jesus.
Huge Detroit area. Arizona had mob.
And in Arizona, when it got as hot as it gets, them wear shorts?
No, they never wear shorts.
To a real Don, never wear shorts.
They never wear shorts ever. That's
balls have got to sweat. Never wear shorts.
never wear shorts.
You got to get the ball juice you got to get the sweat from your ball juice down to your ankles.
But honestly, like if there is, it's not today, but if there was strip clubs in your town,
Yeah.
and there wasn't before, and strip clubs came in, that's
Mom.
yeah.
Holy and yeah, so I thought New York, Jersey, and of course Vegas, because anywhere where there's that kind of money, there's going to be some racketeering and some, mafia shenanigans happening. Man. and I don't want to get off topic, but I got to say, I know that they're shooting season 3 of Tulsa King. I made up my mind. I don't have to race to watch that. I thought the first season got you. The second season, I thought they were kind of hanging on. I don't know that needs another season.
The fact that you talked about sushi, I didn't even finish the second season, even though I thought it was started off okay.
Right.
But I'm going to make this commitment. I'm going to watch all of the Mayor of Kingstown.
Attaboy!
And then I'm not going to watch any of the
Tulsa King?
Tulsa King until I get all that other stuff done. That stuff has to happen first.
Andy, I'm telling you, man, you are going to be like, yo, you were right.
All right. Jeremy Renner for whatever reason.
Stop. And here's why you should root for Jeremy Renner for 2 reasons. One, he's not the typical how they always try to play it.
Yeah.
Debonair. He looks like what was the thing? The toys from back in the day. They look like elves with colored long hair.
Oh yeah, Iggy's or something like that.
He looks like Iggy in the face. But he's a badass. And he, like Vince Vaughn, and I know Vince Vaughn only has it on his thumbs. What do you call them? Club fingers?
Yeah.
Where the nails look like spoons?
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner got the spoon fingers.
Listen, it's not that I dislike Jeremy Renner, and I think he's a great actor. And I don't know if I want to say great, but I think he's a
great actor,
Okay,
dude.
you can say great actor. Okay. But I think it's just that he was on this momentum, and he was doing well, and then he got the Hawkeye part, and it was just such a...
Yeah.
It's just such a...
Yeah. Hulk got strength. The Iron Man suit can fly and shoot all kind of missiles. Yeah, just this. Captain America has the shield and fighting skills. Yeah.
Maybe...
But I think that Jeremy Renner in Mayor of Kingstown is the apology for that.
Okay, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to check it out.
I'm telling you, man, it's dope.
If Hawkeye though would have fucked Black Widow for real, like you would have saw the beginnings of it. Maybe you didn't go in the room, but if they could have thrown that scene, then I would have been like, this dude is badass.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm telling you, man.
He needed something else.
So this one mafioso named Nicky Scarfo, they said he once killed a guy with a butter knife. And I went, dude, do you know how much blunt force it's got to take to penetrate a body with a butter knife?
It can be done, but there's so many
God
easier ways to do it.
I'm sure spoon can be done, but god damn.
I'm sorry.
How angry do you have to be to go, I'm going to keep jabbing this with a butter knife until it breaks skin?
Yeah, and if the dude was out of shape, it has to go through all the...
Oh.
You know what I'm
all
saying?
That fat.
Yeah, it has to go the distance. So there's a lot of rage on the way through.
Ooh.
It's quite remarkable that you could do that. But when I heard that, I can't help but... I know it's a real person. I know that it's real violence and it's true. But when you hear butter knife, it made me laugh, man.
Yeah.
That's anger. But you said it. That's the anger. That's the angst that you have.
Dude, I don't think, and I don't know, at what point in your young life do you go, I'm going to get into the mob, and I've never killed before, but I'm going to develop a taste and a thirst for death, the ability to murder, and murder like that. I could never be cut out for that. Unless you grow up in a world where you're so immersed in that kind of shit, I got to imagine it starts with the mind.
Well, I think there's a difference, though. I think if you can kill someone with a butter knife, that's you as a psychopath. That's you as like, I don't give
But you don't start out that way.
No.
So when do you make that turn?
But there's people that kill, and I hate to say this, but it's a business to them. They don't have the anger. They go in, they kill you, and they walk out. There's a difference between those two.
That does fall on the psychopath then.
Yeah, because you know the famous scene in
Casino?
No, hold on. I'm going to get this one on my own. Kevin Costner,
Untouchables.
That scene where you just stand up behind someone and you just take a bat in front of everybody. That's a psychopath. That isn't just a regular killer. That isn't someone who just has a job.
But again, I'm going back to let's look at it like when they say no one's born prejudiced. Kids are taught that. So at some point before they're taught that, they have the innocence that comes with being a child.
I don't think they have it. Go
What
ahead.
do you mean?
I don't think they have it. When some people are born without like that feeling like that.
That percentile has to be so
It-
low.
yeah, but there's
but we know the mass majority has to be
Yeah.
To have a child's innocence be replaced with hate. That's teachings
It's
at
not
an early age.
It's not hate. It's they have no empathy. They only care, and then they have to. Their narcissistic tendencies is only caring about them, and then no empathy for the
Andy,
person.
I don't agree with you on that because I gotta believe that at some
Let's
point.
go look it up.
No, but before we get there, I gotta believe that at some point, an innocent child that plays with toys and is laughing and is entertained by cartoons, at some point during that young life, if that racist parent starts to infuse,
Yeah, that I agree with.
there's a turning point where they go, "This is all I know. This is what I was taught, so I believe this is the norm." So again, at what point do you turn and lose your innocence as a human being to go, "This is what I'm doing"?
I think there's some kids that are born without empathy, that they have no connection to that. Is there anything that you can look up on that?
What's your question?
Have you not been listening?
I've been
the entire-
listening, but like, what's the specific? Are kids born?
Are kids
Innocent
if kids are born? Can kids be born a psychopath, or do they have to have a trauma that induces it?
I mean, but when you say
Yeah,
that,
you
hold on.
can
But
be.
when you say that, yes, the Jeffrey Dahmers, the Ted Bundys, the Ed Geins, yes, there are some kids who are born off, who during the assembly line was a reject and should have been tossed aside. That happens, but that's such a small number.
Yeah, but how many people are
But
actually?
when you take in like economic factors and say like tribalism and if like people are battling and shit, everyone like has reasons to do bad things.
Well, and in the mob too. Remember, you didn't kill outside the mob. It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be in this business. When we get into this here, the idea that the family, that your mob family is the most important thing to you. When we get into the fact that there's two brothers
Yeah,
that and they're both on opposite teams in this the mob setup,
yeah.
and they're willing to kill each other. That's where I think what you're saying is where it's developed in you, where you become like they've like you said racism, but this is a form of almost like a racism where you like, this is my tribe here, that other tribe is against us, so
Right.
this is it. And that you could see in this documentary where you see that. I can't believe two brothers. There's no going. How do you not go up to your brother and go, we can't do this? How else do we work this out? And they're just like, no, we just gonna kill each other because we're on opposite tribes, mob tribes.
One thing that obviously, we know when it comes to the mob is, informants, rats. And dude, I said to myself, if I were a mob boss, my rule to try to 100% guarantee I don't ever go to jail, whenever we need to meet to talk about mob, this is how we got to do it. One of two ways. We all meet and get butt naked and get in a pool, right? Dunk your head, come up, make sure.
No one has any.
Or we go to a warehouse, we all surround a tin drum where fire's coming out. We write everything down and pass it around. Once you read it, you burn it. Never will you hear my voice. Ever. I don't know. Listen, obviously, mob people don't do like that. They just believe and hope that there's not a rat within the unit. Man, that.
Yeah.
If you facing that kind of jail time, if you get caught, that. Be extreme.
Well, but they also had rules that they followed that were supposed to keep you from having that come up the chain, number one. And number two, that's why they were against the drugs, because the drugs is what, even in this one, when we watch this, the drugs is what ends up getting them again.
But everybody's downfall, whether it's John Gotti or whomever, there's either a flat out rat or your place has been bugged.
Yep.
So again, if we all got butt naked and jumped in a pool, immersed ourselves, came up, we know, first of all, being naked, you ain't wearing a wire. But let's just say they put something in your hair. Once you dunk yourself in the water, the equipment's no good. Now we can talk freely.
Yeah, they used to have meetings in steam rooms and like that.
But can't you hide the wire
Yeah.
maybe within the time?
Maybe.
Butt naked and wet.
Well, a lot of those were steam rooms. They were naked. They just have a little towel that they sit on, but you're naked in there.
So let me ask you, between the butt naked in the pool or the fire drum, which one would you choose?
Butt naked in the pool.
Yeah.
because, like you said, there's no hiding anything. There's no even the paper. They know how to get. They can salvage.
No, if you burn a paper to ashes,
they can salvage it. If as long as it didn't, if it's some of it's together, they can salvage it.
we talking about ashes, Andy.
Well, then you would have to. You'd have to do that to it. You'd have to go and put a stick in there and make sure that you
Yeah,
broke it
man,
all up.
fuck that.
But in the pool, like you said, everything's going to be done. Even if they stuck a mic in their ass,
You know what I'm saying?
it's done.
Done. Now, see, I couldn't be a mob muscle guy and kill you, but to be a boss, yo, Aries, they want to talk about the such and such and such and such to the pool.
You know what? Though? What you're saying about does it develop?
Mm-hmm.
They say like you can't if you kill after you kill your first person, you can kill.
Right.
So what if it's like the thing that gets you there is like you're fighting someone who's trying to kill you and you survive. Now, are you a killer at that point? Can you kill then at that point? Is that how you end up in this situation?
So like an act of revenge.
Well, you kill someone
Yeah.
because they're trying to kill you, but now you know what it's like to kill someone.
Yeah. And listen, as much as we talk about if we had to, until you're in that situation, you don't know.
No,
But I gotta believe that if I'm watching you about to kill my kids or my woman or my mother or somebody dear to me, there's something that happens. There's a trigger that makes you go, I just can't allow this.
No, I agree with that. That's
Yeah.
where you have to go. But I think it would be easier to kill someone for your family than it would be for yourself. I think you might even hesitate for you, but
Right.
but when it comes to your kids
Yeah.
or your wife, that's the scene, the Kaiser Sose,
Yeah.
where he remember that scene where they have the kids and the wife held hostage, and he shoots his kids and his wife.
Again, this is one of those where people will go, Aries, that's blasphemous. Never saw that movie.
What?
Never saw that movie, man. I just remember the famous two scenes where they're all doing the police lineup, and then Kevin Spacey walks out with the cripple walk, and eventually it turns normal.
Listen, guys, I have issues here now. Now I'm having issues because I try to keep up on the movies you guys suggest, but I have all the movies in my backpack that I've watched, and Aries is missing a lot of key movies. How in the world do you not know The Usual Suspects? Didn't watch The Usual Suspects?
And just,
Such a great. And now today, would you watch it and go, "There's been so many movies that take little pieces from that, so it doesn't seem as original."
yeah.
That movie was dude. When you would go crazy when after the whole thing was over, and then you see him in the police room where he was interviewing,
Right.
and then you just start seeing all these little things that the dude put together while he was sitting there. You would your pants,
Right.
dude. You got to see that. I can't believe you haven't seen that.
Right. No, I haven't.
You got to see that.
Dude, let me tell you, there's two things I want to touch upon.
And there's a comedian in the movie.
I know. One more on this, and then this is kind of off topic, but I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
So there's this trend that's going on TikTok right now where, people go, this is my impression of such and such if they were an owl. So, of course, somebody will say Morgan Freeman and go, all right, who? And somebody might say, I'm making one up, but it's the same thing kind of vibe. This is my impression of Macho Man Randy Savage if he were an owl. Ooh. This is my impression of Christopher Walken if he was an owl. Oh. And then finally someone goes, this is my impression of Quentin Tarantino if he was an owl. Here's the thing I wanted to ask you. So I didn't know this until I saw it on social media and somebody pointed it out. Now, Quentin Tarantino is regarded as one of the greatest directors of all time, right? They said, and they showed the proof. So many of his movies, the plots, the stories, some even the scenes, he got from other movies, foreign movies.
He
flat out stole.
He is he is a gourmandizer of movie
What
films.
word is this?
Of films.
I swear, this dude, what? You can't remember the word beach, but you can say gourmandizer?
Yeah, some things come to me when I need them.
Andy is like a piece of coal. If you squeeze him hard enough, a diamond is in his ass.
Yeah. But yeah, he a lot of movies, but
Like Kill Bill.
But well, that was that. The idea of that has been there and has been done in all kinds of foreign movies.
Reservoir Dogs, where the ear gets cut off. He took that from other movies.
Yeah.
So is he still the?
Yeah.
So straight plagiarism, and you're still the dude.
It's in a different movie. It's put into a different scene. It's done a different way. It had everything about that movie isn't just that movie wouldn't be that just because he cut off an ear. It's the way that it was directed, the way that it was placed.
One of the most pivotal and talked about scenes.
Yeah, I still.
So
think.
if you take that nugget away,
Do you think Star Wars is a great?
I mean, for that time,
It's
and
knocked
as a
off.
kid,
It's knocked off
oh, from what?
from some Asian movies.
Really?
Yes, the outfits, the look, and then it's the Nazis. That's what the movie is. It's Nazis and
The
it's
stormtroopers?
Yeah, it's been there. So we take what we know and then we remix it and we put it together. Well, hip hop. Wait, hip hop music is it just isn't it remixed and put together to make a new art form and then put out?
Yeah, but the origin of hip hop is black. And even if you go Africa, drums, okay.
So what you're
still
saying
black.
is if you're black, you can steal it and it's okay. But if you're white,
no,
you can't.
I don't see it as theft when it originates from the melanin people. America's reputation has always, and let's be clear, let's be specific. White America's reputation has always been about theft.
It is.
Absolutely.
What did they steal?
Are you serious?
No, let's go through it. What did they steal?
America. You gonna deny that?
No, there was
You deny
no,
that?
there was land and they took it, but
Okay.
they also bought a lot of
Okay,
it too.
and music.
They bought a lot of it.
And music.
And music. Well, they took different. There's different forms of music, but yes, rock music.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gave you two prime examples.
But they didn't take it. It's part of the what came up in the culture of America.
Ooh, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear the black people going, this is why this bugs me?
No, but
You're defending something
no.
that you know.
Listen, you know when you say here's the idea. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Are black people Americans?
Yeah.
So is
But
it?
we were stolen property
or
first.
no, you weren't. You were bought property.
Oh, okay, we playing this
No,
game.
I'm being honest. Are we not
Look,
going
look
to
at
be
my
honest?
man. My man in the back who has no mic, whose arms are flailing.
Get a mic.
Yell it out. Come here,
Get
come
a
here,
mic,
come here,
get a
come here,
mic, get a
come
mic.
here, come here.
Get a mic.
Just jump on this mic. You ain't got to get a mic. Jump on this mic. Can he jump on that? Why did you make that expression?
Okay, gosh.
And you don't have to give us a long answer. Just give us an answer, though. Why did you do that?
It is true. White people have been stealing a lot of
Since the beginning of time.
Take Hawaii, for example.
We could do that one. We did
Hawaii
take it.
has been stolen land. This belongs to the Hawaiian people. We didn't sign no treaty. We were forced to give up this land
Yeah, this was the Sandwich
by
Islands.
white people.
A lot of Mexico. Or what they say.
No, they bought- they bought
Let me
Mexico. They
not
bought
fuck this
Mexico.
up. Let me not fuck this up. But when they go, and this might be, I forget whose joke it was. I think it was Eddie Griffin when he goes, San Jose, La Cienega, La Brea. A lot of these Spanish-sounding names. And he goes, when people go back to this is Mexico. America is Mexico.
They bought the Southwest. They bought California.
Okay, so we can admit this. We know that black people, and I can't believe how you danced around that and went, well, no, they were bought, stolen people.
They were purchased. You were stolen in Africa and purchased here.
Okay, but it was still stolen.
But
It
not
started
by white people.
Don't do that. Please don't do the whole black people. Please don't
I
do the whole.
can't- you-
Please,
why can't we have an honest
please.
conversation?
No, we are having an honest conversation.
Okay.
But the reason why that gets in my craw is because that is the number. If this were Family Feud, give me the number one answer on the board of white deflection. Well, black people sold black people into slavery. How does that negate the 400 years of what they describe as the greatest crime against humanity?
No, we'd have to go. It's over 400 years.
but-
It's how many?
It's what?
Were they on sale?
Yeah, there was sales. But you would have to go back. It's over thousands of years of slavery.
What's your nationality, brother?
Spanish, Italian.
Okay, so Spanish dude just gave you a little bit of history.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know the history.
I know the history. I know the history for these. This
I know,
is in Hawaii.
but
it's the Sandwich Islands.
I know, but you just tried to flat out defend it like white people have never stolen.
No, I didn't say white people haven't. But here's what I'm asking. At what point, when black culture and white culture of America come together, and now it's part of it, is it because it's the amount of money that has to happen?
Well, I mean, there's always some money in it. This is America.
Well, but I'm asking that question. At what point? Because when I see Bo Diddley, and I know that that's the big root of what we have in rock music, but I see Bo Diddley doing that. I know who Bo Diddley is.
Okay, so we can say this. From music to the land to the people to the culture, our slang, the way we act. Why did Paul Mooney say the black man is the most copied in America? Everybody want to be but don't nobody want to be a.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the way you automatically stick your chest out and go,
No.
Whoa, what did they steal?
No.
What do you mean?
No,
What did they steal?
I didn't say what did they steal. I said say what they stole.
But you say it like you don't know.
No. I'm asking you to say it,
And I said it.
and I haven't stopped you from saying it.
So then you agree.
Yes, I agree.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
But you also have to understand that when you talk about stealing the black culture, no, this is still a melting pot, and we became part of this culture. White people love black culture. Do they like black people? I can't tell you that.
Everybody want to be a but don't nobody want to be a nigga.
And I agree with that. I agree with what you just said.
Boy, if Godfrey was here, he would rip your ass.
No,
for that.
we'd have the same conversation.
No,
we
because
would.
Godfrey would come at you in a way where he would solidify the evidence. He does it all the time on his Instagram.
Yeah, he does.
Every time I look up and I see another clip of Asian kids pop locking and breaking and doing certain dance moves, it's like, okay, clearly you get that from us. But the problem we have is you take from us, but so many times within your culture, you want nothing to do with us.
Well, that particular thing, when you talk about Asians, that comes from the Korean culture is a hip hop culture. They took that. They took that.
White folks take it too.
No,
They all take it.
yeah.
Hispanics take it, Asians take it, and white folks take it. They all take it, which is why a lot of Latinos feel so comfortable saying,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's that whole street vernacular, cool ass thing to do.
But there's a lot of things that have been taken from Hispanic culture.
By whom?
By everyone.
By black folks?
Yeah.
Like what?
Do you want to do music? What do you want to do? Because there's sounds that are particular Hispanic sounds that have worked its way into hip hop culture.
Okay, if you talk about anything in regards to salsa or merengue or anything like that, that derives from black people.
I'm going to pull a video up where you see.
We got less than a minute.
Okay.
This has to be continued.
Let's do it to be continued then. And let's get Godfrey.
As a matter of fact,
In LA, when we were in LA.
my agent just told me he got us, because before we go to Wichita, Kansas, he just booked me a theater, the NOLA Theater, which is next to the Staples Center in downtown LA, 1,500 seats. So we're going to be there for one show before we go to Kansas City.
When Godfrey talks about it, he talks
Wichita,
about
Kansas.
it in a real round whole way. You blanket it.
What are you talking about?
Like Godfrey will admit that we bought Mexico. We bought Mexico. We went to war with Mexico.
This
Those
is
things
one of
happened.
those things where, and this is why I openly admit Godfrey is better than me. I know I'm not wrong, but I don't know how to prove that I'm right the way he would know how to prove I'm right.
Well, because he's going to say it and he's going to explain the whole thing, not
Right.
just a part
But I
of it.
know I'm right.
Well, you're right on a part of it.
Nah. I'm right on more,
No,
more
because
than that.
you're not explaining the whole situation. You're taking the part that you are passionate about.
I know in terms of the root, the deep root, where it starts out, black is a. And once it branches out into everything else, at some point, white folks take it and gets muddled.
Well, if we go from the history, yeah, because black folks are if
All
they're
I
the
need
indigenous
you
people.
to say is yeah.
If they're the
Then I'm
indigenous
right.
people, it has to all come
So
from
if
there.
you say yeah, I know I'm
Okay,
right.
but if you say because black are indigenous, and so everything has to come from that, then everything is taken. There's no chance that anybody could do anything else.
Yeah, this is definitely to be continued because you know what? I got like probably 4 other major notes on this Philly mob thing, and we got a tight schedule.
Get these notes. Get
no,
these
no, no.
notes.
We don't have time. We really don't have time.
Just say them. Just say them, and then we'll just say the
What
notes.
sense
What's
does
your
that
notes?
make?
Because we
no,
can,
no. We
30
cannot.
seconds. We'll do 30 seconds.
We can
Do it fast like this. 30 seconds.
Only time I rush is when I. That's it.
30 seconds.
Nah, man. Nah, it's too. And with something like Mob Talk, that branches off into longer time.
It does.
So I don't want to do this a disservice.
It does.
This will be a to be continued.
Okay. Well,
Matter of fact, the name of this episode is to be continued.
okay.
All right. Dates, right?
I think it should have been called Mobbery.
Mobbery?
Yeah, we ripped him off on the Mob Talk.
Oh,
Mobbery.
I almost think of Stefan when you say Marbury. Also, folks, don't forget, I'm wearing one right now. My t-shirt's available at ariespears.com. Take life with a grain of salt, but then add tequila. I'm not going to bring home the bacon and fry it. We know life ain't fair, but why does it go out of its way to be cruel? And built 80s tough. Go to the website, get the goddamn t-shirts, represent for your boy.
Okay, and our guy who jumped in from here, from
Thank
Hawaii.
you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Spanish, right?
Spanish-Italian, right?
Spanish Italian, perfect. And what is that? Who financed and who was Italian and who financed Christopher Columbus? Christopher Columbus is Italian.
Okay.
Spain financed the journey to get here.
Spain financed him to come here and tell a lie.
No, he told the truth.
All right.
But you're from here. When did you? Well, I can't do it right now.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
really can't.
I got to find this state of the art. Okay. All right, routing. Dun dun dun. Where are we? We're in Hawaii Theater. You're listening to it here. We're in Denver. You guys are listening to this. We're in Denver. January 30th through the 1st. We're going to be at the Denver Improv. Excited to be out there. Not excited about the weather. February 5th through the 7th. We're at the Milwaukee Improv. Even less excited about the weather, but love the club. February 13th to the 15th. Miami Improv. Excited about the weather. I like the Milwaukee club, though.
I really do, too.
But it is a good club. Miami's
I'm
a good
just
club.
hoping the winter is done.
Yeah.
Because they're taking a beating right now.
Yeah. February 19th to the 22nd, Houston Improv.
Love Houston.
Yeah, I can't wait to be out there again. February 20th through March 1st, we're going to be at the DC Improv. You can't get better than that. March 6th through the 8th, we're going to be at the Raleigh Improv. March 12th through the 14th, we're at Wise Guys in Las Vegas. March 19th through the 22nd, Helium Comedy Club in Atlanta. Love it. March 24th begins our European tour. For more dates and for more info on those tours, the European tour and what comes after, please go to ariespears.com. It is on the website.
I told his ass. I swear this shit pisses me.
Put it on at the end of the other one.
No, I know, but I'm can't even do that because I don't see the track.
What is that?
Yeah, do I hit that?
Yeah.
That ain't doing nothing.
Well, can you copy it?
What will that do?
Then you can paste it somewhere and it should come up.
No, he was supposed to send me the track so I could send it to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I need to say, God damn it! All right,
Put it next week.
I'm gonna have to do that. All right. Yeah, that's it, right?
That's the show.
That's the show.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.